Session 3 tomorrow night. Thank you for being here. If we can get started, each of you introduce yourself with your name. These are the head coaches, so you don't need to say that. And give us an opening statement about how you and your team are feeling heading into the Big Ten Championship this year.
Mike Rowe, head coach of Michigan State. We're feeling great, healthy, excited, honored to be a part of this in this session and amongst this great company.
Jenny Hansen, head coach for the University of Minnesota. Really excited to be here. I know Michigan's done so much work in preparing for this championship, so we're excited to be a part of it and kind of the inaugural year with some of our new members, so really excited for that as well. The team's been preparing well. Our goal going in is just to keep getting a little bit better each and every week, so hopefully that'll show up for us tomorrow night.
Janelle McDonald, head coach from UCLA. We're really excited to be here at our very first Big Ten championships. This first season has been amazing, really. Just felt so welcomed in the new conference, and it's just been making memories every single weekend, and really proud of being able to represent the Big Ten conference. And so to be here this weekend, we're excited. Team's ready, they're fired up, and excited for the weekend.
I am Bev Plocki. I'm the head coach here at the University of Michigan, and would just like to say welcome to all of my peers and colleagues here, and we're so unbelievably excited to be able to host this year's inaugural Big Ten Championship with the new format and our new friends from UCLA and Washington in the conference, and just really excited for the conference. I'll say that first. I've always been a believer that you're only as good as the teams you compete against, and the Big Ten Conference has really taken it up multiple notches. You look at the teams that are sitting at this table, and I feel honored to be able to have qualified into this evening session, and our fans are going to be treated to some unbelievable gymnastics throughout the competition, but especially in this evening session. So we're really excited to host. I think our team is excited. I know they're excited. We're prepared, and for us, I feel like we have grown and developed and continue to get better throughout the season. For us, it's doing what we've been doing and really keying in on landings, and more landings.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to ask a question to each of you. So Mike, reigning Big Ten champions from last year in East Lansing, heading into the competition tonight, what's the buzz, what's the vibe on your team with your student athletes? Obviously, it's been a really fun season. First meet on Fox, both UCLA and Michigan State, very exciting. Lots of good buzz, lots of stuck landings from Michigan State this season. But what's the vibe? Is there any pressure coming in being the reigning Big Ten champions? Can you speak to that a little bit?
We're obviously trying to minimize that pressure, but we want them to go out and have a great time. Make this one of the best experiences of their life. We're losing a big class this year, so we want them to go out with a bang, and obviously into the postseason as well. But have fun, but just stay laser focused, and along those lines, doing every day what you do in the gym. We can't praise them enough for what they've been doing and how they've improved, and just do that. Bring what you got. Bring what you've been showing us all year. We'll be happy.
Love it. Jenny, last year at the Big Ten Championship, it was a little bit of a dogfight there at the end. It was so exciting. The energy, the buzz, just the vibe in the arena. And been chatting with a few people, and they're kind of expecting this moment from Minnesota to really show up this weekend. And I believe it. You guys are due for some stuck landings, for some great scores. So how is your guys' vibe? What's the team feeling as you guys head into the championship?
We're obviously really excited to be here. Our team, I know they'll embrace the moment. I think they'll very much take advantage of this opportunity to do what they've been striving to do all season long. Obviously, we're all focusing on those stuck landings. That's been a big focus for us as well. I think if we can continue to make the improvements and pay attention to the details the way we've been doing it in practice, I think it will be a dogfight for any of us, all of us. It'll be really an exciting competition. So we're just hoping to do what we've been doing in practice, and I think it might come down to that last routine just like it did last year.
Let's hope so. I mean, it makes it great for the fans.
Yes, yes, it does.
It's always good when it's a great competition.
Yeah.
Janelle, regular season Big Ten champions in your first year in the Big Ten Conference. so exciting. Also just some incredible buzz around the UCLA Bruins this season. Record attendance in Poly Pavilion, some really great stuff happening. I think it's so cool to have new teams come into the conference and be as welcomed into this family, right? It's something special to Big Ten conferences. So do you guys feel that energy, that vibe amongst the other teams that are here at the championship and across the conference? And as well, what is your team feeling heading into the championship this weekend?
Yeah, I think as we approached this season, we didn't quite know what to expect. Everything was new, every place we traveled was new, and there's a lot of excitement about that. And I could not be more grateful for this conference. I feel like every single place we visited, we've just been so welcomed. The energy and the competition it's been amazing each and every weekend, and it's been so fun to be a part of. And heading into this weekend, our team's really proud of the regular season that we've had, but now it's time to kind of lock in and step up to that next gear to get ready for postseason. And this is going to be such a fun competition to be able to do just that. So for us, we really want to bring the energy. We really want to focus on the little details that help us be great, and we want to make sure that we're coming in and really having the mentality we need to carry us through the postseason. So, we're fired up. We're excited to be here and excited to be representing the Big Ten.
Awesome. Bev, you spoke to the energy that's happening in Ann Arbor around having the championship right here on your home turf. I feel it around town. Everyone's excited about it. But you've been in the conference for a very long time, you personally, and what you've done for the conference leads to a moment like this with your colleagues sitting next to you, just, you say, honored to be competing alongside of them. Because of the path that you've paved as the head coach of the University of Michigan, we sit here today to have this competitive environment and this moment. So I see on even the championship website, expect lots of cars, expect to arrive early with parking, and all of the people around town talking about it. Just speak to what it means to you personally to have this championship here, to see where it's come from, and to sit at this table with these colleagues just as we embark on an amazing session of gymnastics that everyone around the country should be watching.
You're trying to make me cry.
I
No, I appreciate that. And, my journey here has been amazing, and I'm proud of the path that the Big Ten has forged, and I am so excited. I'm genuinely, when I said in the beginning, the addition of such great teams and the elevation of, I look down the table and I think about the job that Mike Rowe has done, and Jenny Hansen, and now, Janelle coming in with a powerhouse of UCLA, and I love that for our conference. I genuinely love that for our conference, and I hope that for our fans' sake and for our sake, that this competition is a dogfight down to the last routine and decided by fractions of tenths, because we're all sitting here not only thinking about a Big Ten championship, although that's check number one. We want to get as many of these incredible teams through regionals and at the national championship as we can. That is the next era of the Big Ten Conference, is to take over the majority shareholders of positions at the NCAA championship away from the SEC. And I think we're on a great track to be able to do that. And so just super honored to be hosting it. This is our first time for a podium in Chrysler Arena. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but I think it looks amazing. Our staff's done an incredible job. And we're really looking forward to this championship and bringing this level of gymnastics to our fans here and around Ann Arbor, and all of our friends that came from far away.
Amazing. I have one more question, then we'll open it up to external media that's in the room. This season, I want you guys to soak in this number. This season, 172,998 fans attended Big Ten gymnastics meets across the country.
Great.
Let's go.
Way more than last year. Of course, with the addition of two incredible teams that are driving in great attendance. But can you just speak to what it means for the conference itself to have this energy coming in, to have great teams, competitive teams, going to other places around the country in competitive arenas that might not see as fans regularly, or in those numbers? What does it mean to you to have that number out there in the world, 12 teams, driving in fan engagement and attendance and watching your student athletes shine week in and week out?
Hearing those numbers has made it even more exciting. Just sitting right there, I got goosebumps. But it's really cool. Obviously, the attendance and the fans, that whole experience has been risen to another level in a lot of our arenas. You know, we've gotten to move into a arena this year that never would have been seen. I don't know, I couldn't tell you when that would have happened. The fact that it happened, it was just such an electric experience. Michigan being able to be there with us and experience it as well, it was just so exciting. But I think it really comes down to, we're always trying to enhance the student athlete experience. And when they go into arenas weekend after weekend after weekend and see this kind of thing, it's electric for them. You know, they feel on a podium even more so. You know, we're getting on the podium more times. So it's just raised the bar to new heights, and it makes their experience that much better, which is so cool.
So cool.
Yeah, just to kind of go off what Mike said, I know that's, I think, a goal for all of ours is to make our own student athletes experience one they can't forget. And when you have your stands are filled and your fans are cheering and they're up on their feet before they've even started, I mean, those are memories our student athletes will have for the rest of their lives. So it is really exciting to see the fan engagement. I know it makes such a difference for our student athletes, and I know at Minnesota we've seen increases, and you know, we have so many people that come for the first time and they're blown away. I had no idea this was this great, you know, and so we just got to keep that momentum going. But it's been a really fun year so far, so we hope to keep building.
Janelle, before you answer, I do want to give you one fun fact. So,
Okay.
as I calculated the attendance across the conference, numbers in arenas that UCLA showed up to drastically increased. But the more impressive number is the fact that after the competition, where UCLA came to that town, I'm going to speak to Maryland, for example.
Yeah.
After your team came, the attendance numbers were higher than they've ever been,
That's
and it's
awesome.
sustaining throughout the season, and that's really important. What does that mean to your team?
You know, I think I've always felt gymnastics is the most special sport in the world, and for me to see just so many eyes on our sport and so many people appreciating what our athletes do and, you know, the performances they put on and the competitiveness of our sport, it means everything, because they work so hard for this, and to be appreciated and celebrated like they have been across the conference this season it's what we do this for, and it's memories that are going to last a lifetime. And so, you know, I've always said that if you can get people to a meet, they're probably going to come back and bring 2 friends, because it's 2 hours of just, it's like show-stopping fun, energy, amazing athleticism. And so it's really cool to see our sport elevating on that stage, and just these student athletes being able to be celebrated as they have been this year.
Bev?
Yeah, you took a lot of the words right out of my mouth. I was gonna point out that we have been fortunate to sell out or nearly sell out Chrysler Arena 3 times in the last couple of years, and a lot of that is attributed to Auburn came with Suni Lee and UCLA came with Jordan Childs, and people appreciate good gymnastics, and that's what I told, you know, the UCLA team when they came. I said, you know, hopefully our fans have always been gracious fans. They appreciate good gymnastics, and I love that about our sport, is that we're all, you know, Michigan State, we're rivals and all the things, but we're also friends, and we also support each other, and our fans are gracious, and they really appreciate and applaud great gymnastics. So just keeps coming back to the more that we build on and off of each other, and the more of us that can recruit a little better and do, you know, it's this stepping stair game all the way to the top. And you know, I hope that we'll have great crowds here for all 3 sessions this weekend. But I am just really glad that you know, that was always one of my goals when I first came here, and we had, you know, 50 or 75 fans over in Cliff Keen Arena. I wanted to sell out Chrysler, and there were a lot of people that never thought we'd be able to do it, and we've done it, and we've nearly done it multiple times. And so that makes me feel great, and I know that the more fans that come to Janelle's point, the more that are going to continue to come because it's such an incredible experience.
Absolutely. All right, all things gymnastics, do you have any questions that you'd like to
Yes,
ask?
I have a couple. First one is for Mike. So last week, Olivia Zarmani on bars didn't have a turning element and didn't start from a 10. Is there going to be a change in her routine this
She
week?
has one now.
Does she? I figured she would, but I just wanted to ask.
And she didn't have it at Alabama either, and
Okay.
they didn't catch it. So
Okay.
that was kind of
Love
a,
that.
obviously guilty, and
Yeah.
we just thought, okay. And
So what's the change? Is she doing the in-bar ginger again, or
Nope.
is half pirouette in the low bar?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then for Janelle.
Give us all your secrets.
For Janelle, so last week Jordan went for the double, your triple double on ball. Is that a possibility for this weekend? Is
It's a
that planned?
possibility, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was curious if she does go for it, like what would be the reasoning for the change? I know you said on the broadcast, I think it was like cleaner, but like she
Yeah.
scores well with the vault she was doing before, so I was just
Yeah.
curious.
We feel like she's scoring inconsistently a little bit with the other vault, and so she's been working kind of to get her double full back. In the last few weeks, it's become much more consistent again, and she was really excited to pull it back out to outside of the gym. Basically, she hasn't done it since the Olympics outside of the gym. So last week, we knew kind of just getting back out there is like getting her feet wet with it. So we knew we were kind of taking a chance as far as the landing being super clean. But so she trained both vaults this week. So we're gonna see what it looks like on the podium and then make a decision from there. But I do feel like her double full doesn't have any built-in deductions, and that's the reason we kind of wanted to possibly go that way for postseason if we can take it outside the gym and have clean landings. So that's the.
And then the Bruin fans would not be happy if I didn't ask. Everyone's like dying to see Caitlin Rosen. Is there any possibility we might see Caitlin Rosen in the
There's
postseason?
possibilities. We'll see
Okay.
Caitlin Rosen, yeah. She's been doing great. I feel like she's kind of been on a journey this season a little bit, and I can't speak highly enough about her character and who she is and the work ethic she has to kind of go through this journey of this season and get back to the competitiveness that she's at right now. And being in so many exhibition spots last week and just nailing it was really exciting to see. I would say it was probably one of the highlights of the meet for us. So.
And then for Jenny, you have tremendous leadership on your team, especially from your upperclassmen. Can you just talk about the impact that they've had on the program?
Yeah, I think anytime you can have student athletes with you for 5 years, is pretty incredible. And for them to be able to carry on everything they've learned and pass it on to that next generation is so important for your team and your camaraderie and the team building. And not only do we have, our super seniors, but I would say the rest of our upperclassmen have really adopted that mentality of taking the newcomers under their wings and really showing them the way. And we've seen such growth, which I know it happens every year, but from the freshmen and sophomores this year because of what our upperclassmen have been able to do and teach and guide them. So yeah, they've been tremendous for us.
And then for Bev, obviously you guys being at home, how's the team feeling? Do they feel any pressure being at home? Or like what's the vibe of the team?
I think the vibe is excited. We've had an exceptional week of practice. And we came off a couple of meets where we felt like we performed well, but as I alluded to, missing the landings, and really talked a lot about taking the individual ownership of making that a priority. It's like you can't get so happy that you just did a beautiful routine and then you do a 9.9 or a 9.95 routine and you get so excited and you take a step on the landing and all of a sudden it's a 9.825 or a 9.8. So I think there's been a lot of individual responsibility taken for that in practices, and I've seen a lot of great energy, and I'm very confident we're going to come out ready to go.
And then one more question for each of you. We asked this to the other coaches. If you had to pick the unsung hero of your team this season, who would you say?
Oh, jeez.
only one?
You can pick a couple. You can have two.
Two. Wow. I would say Olivia Zarmani, first of all, has been ready to go basically on any event when we've needed her and earned her spot pretty consistently of what she's been doing, and has been through a lot of changes in order to get her to do that, but has been ready to go at a moment's notice. I can name 3 more, but I'm going to say Emma Meisenheimer as well. The same thing. She's ready to go at a moment's notice. Hasn't had the competitive experience on a couple events that we would expect her to have or whatever, but it doesn't alter the fact that she's still ready to go. And very exciting to have, she's a sophomore and doing what she's doing, and we have 2 or 3 others that are right there with her too. We're very, very grateful for all the work that they've done, and whether it's upgrading or just the consistency they've been striving so hard to attain, it's been exciting.
All right, I'll go with 2 as well. I'll say, actually some of our seniors. Emily Cook has just been steady. She's our leadoff on beam, has been there since her freshman year. She doesn't usually get a whole lot of recognition, but she's just been someone we can count on. She does the job. She has grown so much as a leader. And we are so grateful she decided to come back for this 5th year and has just done a wonderful job. And then I'm gonna also say Marissa Jenks, one of our seniors. She just never stops putting in the work. She finds ways to make things happen. She never gives herself the credit she deserves. And yet she shows up for the team in any way she can every single time. And she's just done such a great job this year. And to see both of them kind of hit some career highs and do things maybe they didn't expect this year is pretty amazing. And they've just, I feel like they've really guided our team in a lot of ways. And I know our team really looks up to them and what they bring to the team. So I'll go with those 2 and keep going, but I'll stick with those 2.
Yeah, it's tough because there's so many different student athletes that just play such a role on a team that really affect the whole each and every day. The first one I'm going to say is Shay Campbell. She's in her 5th year. She's had a lot of success, but I don't think she's ever been such a steady leader for our team in the 5 years she's been here. She has learned to really use her voice and to lead, not just by example like she always has, but she's really been able to, put her arms around some of our younger student athletes and just really be able to guide them and show them the way. And, for her to be really, I think, having her best all-around season out of her 5 years is pretty awesome to see. She's just been an incredible, steady example of how to do this and how to do it at the highest level. And then, I would shout out our entire senior class. I think they really came together before season and wanted to make some changes in our culture, and they really have been really steady, making sure that those changes stick throughout the season. But I would shout out Emma Malabuyo. Also, she shows up every day. She really works hard. She's really intentional, and she's really vocal. She's a great vocal leader on our team, and I think those are some of the examples that I feel like things that have shifted and gone well for us this year, is that we've really had some senior leadership step up, be steady examples of what we need to be like to be successful. And it's really had a lot of buy-in with our team because of that. And so, yeah, it's hard to pick 2, but that's what we'll go with.
Yeah. It's hard to always go last for questions, but I always am so afraid I'm going to leave somebody really important out because I'm not thinking of them in the moment. But I would say Sophie Parenti, who's one of my freshmen, and for the same reasons that Jen already talked about. She has been a leadoff for us on 3 events and so steady, and she's not going to be that person at the end of the day that went 995 that everybody's going to remember. That is the wow performer with the ease and all of the skills and stuff. But when you look up most points contributed to our team, I think she's the 3rd highest. And she's just been incredibly steady and so mature and level-headed for a freshman. So she deserves a lot more credit than what I think she gets. And the second one I would pick is our 5th year and one of our captains, Raina Gugino, who got injured in warm-ups before our 2nd meet of the season. And it's so easy in that situation to just check out and be done. And she is anything but. She is still one of the hardest workers in the gym. She comes into the gym and does every bit of her rehab and then a little bit more. She is invested in everything that's happening with her teammates every day. She's cheering them on. She's providing motivation. And, you know, it's one thing to be out there and performing and putting up points, but you cannot undervalue what someone like Raina contributes to a team when they're just there every day, encouraging and cheering on, and sometimes consoling, sometimes kicking in the butt, you know, whatever it happens to be at the moment that's needed, she is there, ready, willing, and able to give that to the team 100%.
Thank you all.
I have one more question for Jenny before I excuse you guys. I believe in the power of story, and a really amazing story was told by one of the local news sources in Minneapolis about Maya ahead of the season. I got to interview her earlier this week, and this concept of every athlete that's competing this weekend being a student athlete is really important, and it's very important for us to emphasize as we head into a championship. Can you just speak to Maya's journey from an academic standpoint of what life was like in high school to now she was just into the Big Ten academic honor roll, and she has been an academic All-American as well, when at once she was at risk of even being able to be a Golden Gopher. So can you speak to the opportunity as a student athlete and the opportunity she's taken to really attack that weakness that she had and really excel?
Yeah, Maya was somebody that, gymnastically speaking, was amazing from the first moment we saw her, but academically, we were all very nervous that she would get in at Minnesota, and she had wonderful people supporting her, her club coaches, her host family, her mom and her dad, and they took a chance and, you know, to help her out and do everything that they could, number one, just to get her into school. But I think Maya saw how much faith we had in her, and she went for it. Like, during her entire time in high school, she never thought she was a good student. She, you know, you can very much ask her, she says, I never thought I was smart. I never thought I could do what I'm doing now. But I think she believed in what we could help her with, and she embraced it from the get-go. Since her freshman year, she really did everything that was asked. She had just wonderful support. I think all of our universities, they really embraced our student athletes, and they helped show them how to be great students. And she learned the skills, and she did everything in her power. And I know when she got her first 4.0, there were tears. I mean, she just like, I never thought this was possible. And the fact that she is now graduating at the end of this semester with a master's degree from our Carlson School of Business is floored. Like, she's totally in amazement. I never thought I could do anything like this in her life. You know, gymnastics is one thing, but school for her was a whole different area that she just didn't have the confidence that she was good. And, you know, I think when you're put in a great environment and you have great resources and people that believe in you, I think she started to believe it. But yeah, I think that's probably one of the best stories, you know, we've ever had of somebody who just never thought they could reach that kind of potential, and to see them grow in that way is just tremendous.
Super special. Thank you guys so much. I'll let you guys head off to practice, and good luck tomorrow night in the evening session of the Big Ten Championship.
Thank you.
Thank you.